Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. When you're fighting sickness and disease, there are many opportunities for you to be angry. And I've talked to you about anger in another video entitled Anger, and I would advise you all to strongly to go back and rewatch that if you are dealing with some anger. And I'm not going to talk to you in this video about how to deal with anger. I want to talk to you in this video about displaced anger. You know, we have a lot of opportunity to be angry. Hospitals, there's a lot of mistreatment and abuse of patients in hospitals, but not even in hospitals, just dealing with medical personnel, period. Dealing with doctors outside of the hospital, there's a lot of misuse and abuse, but there's a lot of anger that's involved, and you know, some is rightfully so. But when you're angry, and sometimes when you're angry with this system that you have to deal with, this medical system that you have to deal with, we displace our anger, and that happens a lot where you're angry but you can't really display the anger or deal with the anger with those that you're angry about, so you become angry and show anger towards people you're not really angry with, situations, circumstances, and people that normally don't upset you, that usually you can deal with, you are now angry with, and you're displaying anger somewhere where it's not deserved. There is a great danger in that, you guys, because a lot of times when you displace your anger, we know there's road rage, we know all those things like that, but a lot of times it gets displaced with those that are closest to you, and that's what I want to primarily talk about. When there is displaced anger and it is displayed within your support structure or within your family unit. Caregivers can be angry with the ones that they're caring for. Not so much that they're angry with that person. It's not the person they're angry about. They're angry about the situation. Just like the person who's going through can be angry with the caregiver. Not really angry with the caregiver, but angry with the situation. And I want to caution you all to be very careful when there's displaced anger. And I also want to make sure that you understand that it's not just the caregiver or the person who's going through, also the children that are involved can be having displaced anger. You can display it towards them, or they can be displaying it towards other things. So everyone involved in this intricately needs to be aware that they can displace their anger. And the danger in displacing anger is that you can tear down good relationships, great relationships, your support structure, tear up that which means the most to you. And that is not something that we want to do when we're going through sickness and disease. So just be mindful not to displace your anger. When a person is going through something, say for example, if you're a wife and you're going through, now the husband has to take over. He may have to pay bills and do all the things that he might have normally do and work, but now he has to take on the role of the wife as well, and that may be hard for them. And when you are the one that's going through and you see that your caregiver is now having to take on extra roles, it is good to gently try to make suggestions. If they're not willing to gently receive those suggestions, you all, the best thing that I have found to do is to allow them the space and the room and the time to figure it out. In the meantime, they may be bumping their head, things may not be going over well. I have found in my situation that the best thing for me to do was to hush and allow my husband the room to figure out what to do and how to do it. And when I found that he was angry and he was frustrated, I had to know that he wasn't angry and frustrated with me. He was angry and frustrated because he was trying to figure it out. My husband, like some of your caregivers, may have the tendency to feel like I can handle this all. I can do it all. And they want to do it, but they're failing at it. And they're frustrated at it because they can't seem to stay on top of everything. That's normal. What I found in my situation, the best thing to do was to love my husband through it. Sometimes I had to help him without him knowing that I was helping him, making provisions without him knowing that I was making provisions. until he was willing to accept my help or to get a better handle on everything that he was trying to do. And seasons change, you all. There'll be some seasons where it's crisis mode. They have to do a lot more. And then other seasons where you're a lot stronger. They don't have to do as much. Seasons change. So never think that whatever season you're in, that's the season that you're in. But if you are having displaced anger put on you, use wisdom in how to deal with it. Also, I have been in situations where I was displacing anger on my husband and my children because, you know, things that were going on and the abuse that I had received while I was in the hospital, and it wasn't the first time. And I have a great marriage. I have the kind of marriage that people desire. I have the kind of family that people desire. And I know it didn't come without a cost. It's hard work, and we are blessed. But we have a good marriage, and I have a strong family, a strong marriage, and I almost tore that apart because I came home very angry about the things that had happened to me while I was in the hospital, and angry just about the whole system, the whole medical system, the things that go on when having to deal with that. And so when I came home, I was very angry. Things that normally didn't bother me bothered me. Issues that normally weren't a big issue became a huge issue. And you all, because of that, and I failed to realize that when I was in the hospital and we were in a crisis mode, you guys, and the abuse that was taking place whenever my husband left to check on the children, he was angry about that too. And it didn't dawn on me. It didn't dawn on me that my children were in high emotions because of the things that had took place with the crisis mode with my health. All I knew that I was in myself, feeling myself, and full of anger. And when I came home, you guys, I was fussing, I was angry, I was really enraged, and I didn't know how to deal with it, but I was trying to. And the more I tried to talk about it, what I got back from my husband wasn't the loving husband that listens and tries to understand. What I got back was, I'm angry too. You need to deal with yours because I'm trying to deal with mine. And I didn't heed that. And we ended up getting into a very big argument. And it almost cost me my marriage. It cost my children a lot of tears. And it almost destroyed my family. So that's why I'm sharing this with you guys. I'm sharing with you so that you don't go down those same type of pathways, and so that you can be alerted to know that when you're angry, not to displace that anger. You have to deal with your anger in a way that's helpful, in a way that's healthy. Never tear down your family. Never tear down your inner structure. Sometimes when you have that anger and you're not able to address it with that which you're angry with, it's easy to displace that anger. But I want you to be mindful. Be on alert. Do not displace your anger within your inner structure. At all costs, keep peace within your walls. At all costs, keep calmness within your walls. And if you find that anger is being displaced towards you as a caregiver, as a loved one, as a person who's going through, use wisdom for your situation. Okay? And get calm, because calmness can soothe a lot of things. And all things, remember, do you. I hope this video was helpful for you. Until next week. Bye.